This week in Grace's Girls Club, I'm joined by a very special guest. I have Miss Rebecca Hamm with us. Rebecca, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
We're excited to have you. So tell us your title and the company that you work for.
So currently I am, my title would be Senior Lecturer in Accounting. I work at the University of North Alabama in Florence. I'm also a CPA, which is a Certified Public Accountant.
Awesome. So Rebecca, tell me a little bit about being an accountant, a little bit about teaching it, but mostly about what it's like to be an accountant, to be a CPA.
So it's a lot of what people, think about on TV, where you're sitting at a desk working all day and files piling up. That's sort of how public accounting is. It's a technical field. Currently, I'm working almost full-time in education, so my day looks a lot more like in the classroom. I have about 160 students face-to-face on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, so just a lot of teaching. But accounting as a career is office work, but a lot of interactions with people through meetings like this or in person. But it's a desk job. It's a work on the computer type of field.
Absolutely. So of the letters in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, which letter or sequence of letters would you say most applies to accounting?
I would say definitely the technology. Accounting as an industry is certainly very dependent on technology, like a lot of other things. So, we use accounting software, and so staying current with your technology and staying on top of it really adds to your career. And if you're not as in sync with the technology, that can create challenges for you. I would say where I work now as an educator, the mathematics piece is really big in what I do now. I basically teach math, not always in the way of like equations, but more in a business math. So it's kind of like business problem solving, teaching students how to use math to create value in their job. Think about like how to make decisions based on math. So I like to call it math magic. So I feel very passionate about math as a skill for young people and how they can use that in their jobs one day.
Rebecca, I'm so glad you touched on that. So as meteorologists, we take a ton of math. However, I had a lot of friends in college who were business and accounting majors, and they were taking similar courses, but slightly altered. So I would be in, calculus 3, and they would be in business calculus 3 or accounting calculus 3. And I'm so glad that you touched on that, the math magic that you said. Expand a little bit for me on how you take that math and you put it into the problem solving field in accountancy.
Well, I'll say that people that are intimidated by calculus, accounting sometimes is a good fit because it's a different type of math. It's using more basic algebra to expand. We use so many financial ratios. The whole accounting structure that we use currently in the United States is based on formulas. And so the more you understand about math, the more value you can bring in deciding, if a cost changes this way, this is going to affect my bottom line this way. This is how my manufacturing works. Really, it all depends on cost. That's what I teach in class. So I feel really passionate about, showing people the value in that when they feel like a little bit intimidated by math. But when you show people how it affects their life and how they can benefit from understanding these type of things, I think it helps them overcome that apprehension of something that they see as too challenging for them. And it kind of opens up doors to push them a little bit, I think.
Oh, absolutely. I could not agree more. So, speaking of schooling, you are the perfect person to talk about this because one, you're a CPA, but you teach future CPAs. Walk me through the educational journey that you have to go through to get to being a CPA.
Yeah, gladly. So, like I said, a lot of my time is in the classroom, but outside the classroom is a lot of time with students, with advising, career planning, answering these type of questions. So, to be an accountant, as a baseline, you usually do a 4-year degree. And so you can get that at, any college. To be a CPA, you need to go that extra year and a half, 2 years, do the master's. In most states, including Alabama, it requires 150 education hours to be a CPA. And then you do 2 years work experience, and then there is an examination, and then that's what qualifies you to be a CPA. And that is the kind of path I took to be in the job I'm in now.
And are those examinations, is it just one part or are there multiple parts?
It's 4 parts, and back years ago, 20 years ago, you took them all. You drove to Montgomery and you took all four at once, and so that seemed really challenging. Now you can divide it up into four. You have 18 months to complete those. And most college programs, like the one at the University of North Alabama, we're really working with students to prepare them for that because, again, it is an overwhelming, daunting task, and they certainly feel that. So as in anything in life, the more prepared you are and the more work you put in on the front end, the more successful I believe that you'll be. So we really help students to tackle that test and do well. But it is 4 parts.
Absolutely. Well, you are definitely an educated bunch. That is for sure. So, Rebecca, walk me through why you chose this field in the first place.
When I think back about that question, it was so long ago, but my husband has a family heating and air business. And so I guess as a young person, I thought, I'm going to do accounting and I can help out at the family business, right? I might not could know anything about air conditioning repair, but all businesses have an aspect of accounting. And so as we know, life doesn't always work out how you plan. And I have never once in 22 years of marriage worked that business. But because I feel like a skill that is marketable, I've always found a job that, worked with my family and what I had going on at the time. So I chose it for that reason, but that reason didn't work out, but it has still been a good career choice for me.
Absolutely. I love so much of what you're saying about problem solving and real world application and making yourself marketable, regardless of what field you choose to be in. I feel like that's at the foundation of any type of vocational success.
Absolutely. I totally agree. That's why, I have 3 teenage children myself. And so I really feel like I know the teenage learner, and they're not always motivated to do things. But I feel so strongly in the value of what I teach that I don't mind kind of saying, hey, let's work some problems. Let's do some homework because I believe in the value of it on the other end. So that makes my job, if not easy, very doable for me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's wonderful. So that might be one of the best parts of your job, but what are some challenges that you have to face every day that you have to overcome?
Well, I think like most busy career family people, it's just meeting all the deadlines. The nature of the work that I do is very cyclical. So all of my kind of deadlines might line up at once. So kind of managing that can be challenging. And then I would say a good thing is, we live in a very connected society. So while that can be really helpful, that means that I have, almost 200 students that have me at their fingertips, right? So kind of managing all that, I have found that I just kind of work low key all the time to manage messages because, they've got a lot going on and I want to be able to respond timely to all the messages I get. So I would say that's one of my biggest challenges is staying on top of just the volume of students and work to get done. So.
Oh, absolutely. I could see that in a heartbeat. You said you had what, roughly 200 students?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I see 160 of them. I see them those hopefully 3 days a week, and then 40 or 50 online. But the way young people are, they message all the time, and so when I wake up, there they are at the. So I start in trying to keep track of all that. So first world, good problems, but definitely can be a challenge sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I know how my inbox looks, and I don't have that many students, so I can only imagine how yours looks.
Yes, and so I feel like I'd say, send me a message, put this in writing because I'll have conversations, and because there's so many of them, it helps me to have it sent to me. And so then once I've said that, I have to really manage it and keep track of it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So would you choose this career, whether being a CPA or being an accountancy teacher, would you choose this all over again?
I really think that I would. I'll tell you why. In current lingo, the whole work from home flex job is kind of a thing. But I'll tell you, I was doing that, 18 years ago on a maternity leave. I worked from home, and I would just take work home, and I had my computer, and so the flexibility of this job for me has just been a good fit for my life. And no job is perfect. No job is without challenges, but I would say that I would choose it again for those reasons. It has been able to change as I've changed in my career and my family. So yeah, I think I would.
Oh, that's wonderful to hear. Now, one more question for you. I know how busy you are. I know you have a ton of emails to get back to. But if you had one message to young girls or young students in general who wanted to join the STEM force one day, what would your message to them be?
I love that question. And I think I would say go for it. I would say that the work you put in when you're young, if you are kind of math minded in any way and you think that might be a fit for you and you're willing to work hard, when those two things come together, the math minded a little bit and the hard work, they come together and they just create this path for success for young people. So just like in my own story, the job that I thought I was going to have as a teenager isn't the one that I have, but because I have a skill that people will hire you for, I've been able to find work throughout my whole career. So I would say to young people, put that hard work in that college age and learn a skill like in a STEM type distinction, because that will just benefit you your whole career.
Oh, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And I love what you said too. I think so often, high achievers have very high achieving friends that say, I've known what I wanted to do since I was 16 years old. But just because your path doesn't look like that doesn't mean it is any less successful or any less prosperous.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. But once you have something in a STEM field, you can really you can apply that to so many things. So get that education, that training, put that hard work in your schooling, those young years, and then I really think it pays off because you don't know what life will hold, but you have a skill that's valuable.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love it. Well, Rebecca, thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for sharing your expertise and your wisdom with us. Welcome officially and formally to the Girls Club.
I'm so grateful to be here, Grace. Thank you for your work on this, and I look forward to seeing all the young girls that are hear this message, and I look forward to keeping up with the group.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. That means so much to me, and I'm just as excited. Have a wonderful day today.
Thank you. Same to you.
Thanks.